Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez, the founder of Alma Publishing, and I'm so excited to have a very special guest today. Hi, Abigail. How are you?
Hello, Adriana. Good morning. I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Now, we're both Colorado girls, so you're up in Denver. I'm holding down the lower western slope. So tell everybody a little bit about what you love most about what you do in the world.
Oh, man. What I love most is being able, it always amazes me, like throughout life, as we are growing, evolving, you kind of gather these tools that helped you along the way. And then you start noticing that your friends and people, strangers will come to you and start talking to you. And they're like, oh my gosh, what you told me changed my life. And then from there, it keeps cascading to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I actually get paid to do this.
Right?
It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I get paid to share my God-given wisdom, whether it is channeled or it is through my own life experience. I get to share that with others to uplift them, to empower them, to bring more light into their life. I mean, what is there to say?
And I think you perfectly described it. Like, that's how I would describe you. And one of the things I love is that you're a great example of you can actually be yourself. And that is not only enough, that's ideal. Right?
Yes.
So I want to, we're going to have a discussion today. I'm a fan. I want other people to know about why I think you're a fan and how amazing you are. So one of the things that, I always tell people is that I met you about 5 minutes after I came online. So I was in the offline world. Believe it or not, 7 years ago, I didn't know this world existed. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that any of this was possible. And so when I came online, somehow, it's like the mystery social media world. Somehow you and I met. And my observation from the beginning has been your work is really to assist like heart-centered entrepreneurs, people who know, I do more than like pay the bills. I actually have a sole purpose. I have a reason for being here. You help them stay true to themselves and their path and their calling. So what do you see as the main challenge when people who are clear on what their soul's work is then begin to build a business and these are running parallel? What's the big challenge there?
I have this analogy that I've even shared before. It's like you build yourself, you get that I am channel, like this is who I am. I know what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And then you extend it outward where now you're in service mode. And so now you're in this environment where you're like, oh, look at that person. They're doing kind of something similar. Should I change mine? Well, maybe I'll just tweak it a little bit. Or, oh, look at that. It's like the shiny syndrome. And so you get pulled here, pulled there, pulled here. And it's like a tornado where instead of you being the eye of the storm, you're getting swished around everywhere because now you're seeing so many other lights out there doing their work that you're like, oh my gosh, is mine even enough anymore? Am I truly supposed to be doing that? Because so-and-so is also doing DNA activations. So is mine even needed? Right? So we get all these questions that come to our minds that there is a purpose to that because we are refining even who we are. I always say that when we first start and it's just you and you're working on yourself, that's the easiest part. Now, when you start relating with the world, with other people, now that's where the work is. Because the whole point is that are you able to stand your center? Are you able to truly continue to see you as you are evolving? Because you're not going to stay the same either. It's like you're going to continue to evolve as the world evolves, as your world evolves. And in that, are you going to stay your center and stay true to all that you are? And this is where it's so important to be connected to your higher self, because your higher self is the true you. Regardless of what changes in the world, that is your anchor, right? When you're connected, it doesn't matter what is shifting, what change, you are anchored. You are you. The wisdom, that all of that is you, unshakable. You become the eye of the storm. And so I see a lot of these amazing, and I'm going to say women because my higher self is like, you better say women. There's a story to that. But, I see a lot of women who are amazing and they have so much gift, and they step into the world and they start doing the work and things start flowing, and they get caught up in the whole flow of things and they forget their own channel of flow. Right. It's like, oh my gosh, how did I end up in that river over there? I was supposed to be over
Yes.
here. Where, how did I end up in so and so? And they get, it's like once they realize that they've kind of strayed a little bit, if they're not anchored, it's like, oh, what's the point? I'm done. I'm finished now. Like, I'm totally lost. It's like, no, it's part of the journey. You can always come back as easily as you strayed off. You got to find your anchor. What is your anchor? I'm connected to my divine self. I am that I am. Who am I? Where did I come from? You go back to the sacred questions. You do your sacred rituals, or the things that bring you back to yourself, and you come back again. Right. So, yeah, I can like go on and on.
I like what you said, because there's a part of us that never changes. It doesn't matter what's trending, what's in, what's out, what other people are doing. There is an element to us that is eternal. Yes. And so really what I hear you saying is you have to find your way back to that. No, like you said, sometimes it's a ritual, sometimes it's nature, sometimes it's this or that. And it brings us back to that place. And then we go, oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, nature. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Nature is the quickest way to get back in touch with ourselves. I always say the trees, the nature, like they are our greatest teachers, because they're here with us on earth, but they've managed to become, I'm going to say, sentient being, because they understand what it means to be divine and a living physical being, a 3D being. They understand their purpose, and they do it flawlessly and unapologetically. Right. And I love nature, because I was talking to my husband. I was like, we're always talking about Mother Earth, and we have the paintings of Mother Earth, and she's so nurturing and beautiful. And then you go to the other side of the world, and it's like hurricanes and there's tornadoes. I'm like, I love the duality of Mother Earth, because she's modeling to us how fierce we can be. Yes, we can be loving, we can be nurturing, and we can be fierce when it comes to redirecting our purpose, fighting for what we believe in, right? So nature is like, you can go in nature and be like, hey, I'm lost. I need help.
Yes.
Where am I? Right? And nature has a way to bring you right back to your center again in a way that is effortless. If you allow it, if you say, yes, I surrender to your teachings, teach me.
Yes.
We need to learn to be humble when it comes to our journey. Humble in the sense that not like pushover, like, oh, I don't know anything, you tell me. No. It's like humble. I guess I should say surrender. We have amazing teams of angels, nature, of ascended masters who signed up specifically to work with each and every one of us. But they're on standby constantly. They will not cross our free will until we say, I need help. Help me. Come co-create with me. Be in my life. Be my eyes. Be my body. Like, come be with me. And then they're like, oh, finally. Finally said we can, and then they can come and intervene. Right. So we need to, that's what the humility is like. I am not alone doing this. I don't have to do this by myself. I have a whole team, even on the physical sense, when we're talking about scaling your business, the moment you start talking about that, you have to realize that this is not just you climbing the ladder anymore. You need a team supporting you. It's the same thing.
It's so true. And this is one of my favorite things that you constantly reminded me of last year, and in all the work that you do in your weekly podcast. is you're always saying, call on your whole team. And I had an interesting experience. I actually got in the car one day and I was like, oh, yes, I asked my guardian angels to be with me. And I had never known or asked or heard the name of, a guardian angel or multiple. And I heard this guardian angel, Joseph, say, I have been with you through every lifetime. Like, I'm sure he's worked overtime. But it just was another like, oh, this is so real.
Yes.
It's like you said, why would I think about doing it alone? Why would I, it's just that remembering. And,
Yes.
it is, this is one of those things that you're just constantly going, hey, by the way, they're all standing here waiting for you to say, step forward.
Exactly.
Show me what I can't see. So I had this memory. So it was right after I had met you. I was living in Guanajuato, Mexico, and I was very new in the online space, and I could already tell that I wasn't going to follow the rules that well. But I had to learn the rules first, right? That's the key. You learn them so then you can bend them and break them. And I remember this one day I was so nervous, but I did this live and I was like, well, there goes my online, my online chance. I'm just going to blow it up. And my live was about how it was driving me bananas to hear all these people in thousands of people in groups and everywhere. Like it was just all this chaotic mess talking about how they're working with like 5, 6, 10 coaches at one time. And I was like, this is madness. Like, I don't even know how you can keep track of this many coaches. Your full-time job is getting on calls and then you have all these voices in your head. How on earth can you ever hear your own voice, right? And I was just like, you know what? If you're working with 6 coaches, please don't hire me. Whatever you do, right? Like, I do not want to be in that mix. Right? And it just blew my mind. But then when I really looked at it, I was like, oh, if I hire 6 people to help me in my business and they're experts and they're gurus and they've done it and they've accomplished this and that, I don't ever have to trust myself. I don't ever have to believe in myself. I don't ever have to find my unique way. And it's like a way we let ourselves off the hook or a way that we diminish our own power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my question for you. How do we put soul guidance always over expert advice?
The first thing that comes up is a journey. First, you have to recognize how you put your own soul guidance, your own soul voice to the back burner and how that is showing up in your life. You have to get to a point where you're like, this is not working for me. There's something wrong. Like it's not flowing anymore. Right. When we get to that point, that's where it's like we're open to change. But until we get there, we can just keep going on that path without even realizing we're on a side path somewhere, right? So recognizing like, oh my gosh, what do I want? Like I'm hearing, this is why I'm very picky with people I work with. And usually when I choose someone, I'm with them. My guys choose the person. I tell my guys, bring them to me. I'm not going to go search because there's too much noise in the world for me to try to find myself, right? It's like, oh, there's so much coming in to be shared. What do I want? When you receive teachings from your coach or, there's so many times I'll receive something. And this is something that drove my teacher, my spiritual teacher, madness. Like she was like, this is how it is. Learn it this way. Do it this way until you master it. And me being Abigail, I receive it. I get the foundation down. And of course, it ignites everything that I am. So I infuse who I am into it. And she's like, no. Go back. I'm like, I don't want to go back. Right. And that's kind of like how it's supposed to be. you receive the teachings from these people that hopefully you drew to you, or maybe you chose them consciously. But you have to get to a point like, is this how I really want to do it? Or better yet, is this what my soul really want to express? Is this how my soul wants to express itself? Does my soul want to follow this rigid funnel thing of getting clients and talking to, like, every time you get on the call, are you cringing and saying, okay, I just need to get through this? Or are you saying, oh, heck yeah, let's talk, let's chat, right? There's indicators when you're doing something that is not in alignment with your soul. It feels like, ugh, I have to do this, versus, oh my gosh, I get to grow with this. I get to do that. I get to know you and talk to you, and you get to hear my voice and see my face, and we get to chat, right? And see if this is really what we want to do. Yeah.
I love that you say that. And this is really what it comes down to. Like, the way I see it is that there might be certain skill sets that I would like to learn. But at the end of the day, I have to integrate it and make it my own. If it's not my tool and I'm just marching and following orders, right? Well, I'm gonna feel lost in that, right?
Here's the twist. The things that you are drawn to are already within you. They just want to be expressed. So it takes something on the outside to come into your focus, to be like, hey, you really want to dive into this, right? Or you really want to learn this, because it's already within you. It's a piece of your puzzle that wants to be activated, that wants to be, brought to the surface. For example, for me, I've talked about this, how last year the Empress showed up as one of the months, and she just stuck with me. And my creativity went like crazy. And through that process, I was introduced to neurographic art, which I just dove into it. Like, it's like massage for my Virgo brain. It's just like chill. And you can kind of see some behind me. But what it's doing is activating more of my goddess work and goddess codes, my divine feminine, my deeper, this is what I was getting, my deeper divine feminine mysteries that the world needs at this time. So as I express myself with colors, drawing certain lines, creating new neurons in my brain by doing that, it's all activating that next level of me. But these are coming into my view because it is already within me. The people we call in, the coaches, the classes, remember, they're not something that is outside of you. They're coming to you because they already exist within you.
Such a good thing to remember. It already exists within me. I'm calling it in to have a deeper, right? The deeper experience of it. So good. So good, Abigail. Now, I've recently shared that in my 12 years in business, I've done a lot of things, right? Taken a lot of programs, been in a lot of masterminds. Although I will say, for the online world, it's not really that many. Anywho, I was talking about how my favorite program, like ranked number 1, was yours, The Goddess Unleashed. And so, I mean, I'm doing it for a second time. Like, I don't do 2 things 2 times, right? Because I'm easily bored. I'm lucky if I finish one thing once, right? So I would love to hear, like, how did that program come to you, or what was the inspiration for it?
Oh man, these tools that I teach you, it was introduced to me like years ago, probably more than 10 years ago. And we would do this in the mystery school. This is something we did, every year, and we'll walk through it just like I walk you guys through it every month. And it was part of discovering who we are. The whole point of it, like I see these words, know thyself. That is like the foundation of this program, because everything that you receive is not outside of you. It's like, this is who I am. This is who I am, that this month I'm just taking like a chunk of it to express and really get to know and play with and see how it's evolving, right? And so the first time that I created this was in person, actually. So it was, only my Colorado people, the women will come in, and we'll get together and we'll do the rituals together. We'll pull the cards together. We'll chat together. And at some point, I remember after the first year, and I called it just Moon Goddess Academy. And after the first year, it was very clear. It's like more women need to experience this. You know, like more women. The question that came was like, can you imagine more women just moving through the year so effortlessly? It doesn't matter if they're, experiencing challenge, because the challenges will come, but they have the tools to still move through and move forward and feel supported and feel held and feel loved and feel expansive, and be in that energy of anything is possible. What else can come in? Imagine more people. But for me, it was like women, because I had to my guys were like, you're here for women this lifetime. Cut it out. I keep hearing that. Like it never, because I go into those, it's like, but my work can help so many, like how you're like, I want to do everything. And my guys are like, do you know why you're a woman in this lifetime? Yeah, cut it out. Focus. Right. So women, and it is our time, to be honest. It really is. Like we're in this growth that is happening. I think it was 2 years ago where we started hearing more of like the divine feminine is awakening. The divine feminine has always been here. It's just been, quieted down, and now her voice is growing within us, and we're able to express it even more. It is our time as women, and women need more support, because when a woman is successful and wealthy and living a joyful life, she has the ability to amplify it out to the entire universe. That's how powerful women are. So yes, we're supporting women right now because we want more of that. Okay.
I love it. And, I just want to pause on something that you said, because what I love about this program is it has a year-long theme that's personal to me. Exactly. It doesn't matter who else is in the program. It doesn't matter what the year looks like for you. It's personalized to me. And then there's these monthly anchors and monthly focus and monthly message and monthly, guidance. And I felt so steady. I mean, incredibly solid and steady. Like every step was, I saw this funny video yesterday, and it was this mom and her sons on a walk, and it was very muddy. It had been raining. That mud that is just a mess. And one son could not figure it out, right? Oh. I mean, you take a step and he's sliding. He's doing the splits. He's going down. And then you could see the mom, she was steady. The mud didn't take her down one time. She didn't even slide. And that's how I felt last year. It was so steady and so sure. And the thing is when you said challenges, I was like, yeah, there were challenges, but they seemed so doable. And they seemed like I just took it in stride because I was so focused, and I knew what my theme was, and I knew where to be planted and where to not get caught, right? Yes. And that's why I'm doing it again. And this is why I wanted to have this interview with you, because I really believe that this is going to be an intense year. I feel like we're going to hit a crescendo of some sort. And I sent you a message and I said, I feel like a lot of people's compass is like spinning out of control. They have no clear direction. They don't know, am I heading north or south? And so imagine having this clear direction. Who is best for this program? Because I seriously, I feel like this is one of the best gifts we can give women this year, is to get them steady with that clear guidance.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, women like you, but women who are self-led, women who know that they're here to create bigger impact, to create that ripples of positive influence in humanity. It starts with a small world, but it does ripple, whether we know it or not. It does do that. Women who have a clear picture of what they're here to do. Like they've had a sense of that purpose, that bigger purpose, but perhaps the steps to it, maybe it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Am I taking we all go through that, right? Women who, there's this confidence. It's like, regardless, there's this energy of like a fighter, like a warrior. I don't care what happens. I don't care. I know my path and I'm going to follow it. The whole purpose of this program is to ease that. You don't have to suffer through your purpose. You're here for a bigger purpose. We don't need you to be suffering through it. We need you, your most wealthiest, your happiest, your best self, so that you can even do more of your work out there. My work is to support women who are here to make bigger, greater influence like I am.
Yes. You know, I got to throw this in, Abigail, because this came to me as you were talking, and I just want to give people a real practical, like something that they can like nail down, hang their hat on. So when I look back at last year, and we know what's going on in the world, okay? And when I started this program with you, I had that warrior spirit. Like, I don't care about what's going on out there, because I'll be damned if it ruins my inner world, right?
Yes.
If it derails me even the slightest bit. And so I felt this, like, you know, when I find my grit, and I also can feel my own ability. And so interesting, the year before, so 2020, I had my biggest year in business ever. In 2021, I more than doubled it. Right? And I'm starting with that because I know what people with their ears go, what? Right? Yep. I already know what you want. So I'm going to give you what you want. There's your chocolate. And now I want you to hear me on this. It's also the year I took Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, often Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. It's the year I spent the most time off of this computer, off of social media, off of my phone, in nature, where I couldn't even connect if I wanted to. My dad's calling me, are you okay? I'm okay, Dad. I will be back. Don't worry. It's also the same year I wrote and painted and colored and baked the most. It's the year I deepened my connection with Derek and my boys the most.
Yes.
And it's the year I felt the most joy and freedom. This is what it can look like. There was no, I have to do this. No, this is what I'm anchored in. This is what I feel. This is what I follow. And I could finally, this is an overachiever, right? I have 44 years of experience being an overachieving, perfectionist people pleaser. And last year was the year I unhooked effort and abundance. And it was not about effort. It was about alignment. It was about connection. And it was about trust. This is
man.
Right?
Yes. You know, and I remember when you receive your theme for the year, you're like, this is not me. I don't know how this is going to work out. And just for you, everyone, her team, is it okay if I share your theme?
Yeah.
Her theme for 2021 was the Hermit. And, the Hermit is internal, is withdrawing. And we went through like what her flavor of the Hermit, like what the Hermit was awakening within her. Because the Hermit, for me, I also had the Hermit, but it looked completely different from her Hermit. And so she was operating the entire year in Hermit mode. And what that, if you look at the Hermit holding the lights, right, it's about cultivating your inner light. And through that, she was able to amplify her radiance, her that goddess radiance, that magnetism. There we go. Right. And this is where women, we're supposed to tap in. When I say awakening your goddess unleashed, you're awakening the magnetism, the radiance, the power, the energy that goes out there to do the work for you so that you can just continue to stay centered. And that's what she mastered and continues, because this blessing it builds up. It builds up. Yeah.
It does. And yes, I'll just throw in there, when I drew the Hermit, because you didn't draw it, I did, so I couldn't be mad at you.
Yes.
I was like, well, ain't that some bullshit? I am not the Hermit. I'm 98% extrovert. Like, you all can go to hell,
Oh, I love it.
You gave me a great phrase that I could hang on to. And you said, do your magic in the cave. And they might not ever see, they might not know, but trust me, it will reveal itself. It will have an impact. And I'm telling you, it's the first time in my life I have ever received emails and texts. I don't even know how people got my phone number. And they said, I don't know if you do this, but I'd like to do this with you. And I was like, oh, they got the message, right? The magic, like, it went out from the cave. And that was really what anchored me. I was like, okay. It was like you said, this is about mastery. And this is what I love about your program. This isn't dipping our toe in and then getting back into a default mode and getting caught up in nonsense. This is about staying with it for a year, and you're constantly there going, yep, listen to yourself. Remember, you got this.
Yeah.
Go within, go out to nature. It is an amazing feeling when you go, I've really practiced this. I can feel it. I don't even have to think about it. I feel it. I know it. I am.
I'm glad that everything you mentioned. Here's the thing. This program is not for you if you're coming in so I can tell you what to do. If you're coming in for spirit to tell you what to do. If you're not motivated to change your life. If you're not motivated to become that mythic being that you know you're here to be, to step into the big shoes that you know you're supposed to step into. If you're here if you're comfortable playing small, if you're comfortable complaining, this is not for you, because it will challenge you. If you step in, I will say welcome. I will gladly say welcome, but be ready, because it will challenge you. And at the end of it, you will step into that place that you're meant to operate in. But if you're not comfortable with that change, if you're not comfortable really getting to know who you are and operating from that place of magnetism and power and goddess radiance, then this is not for you.
So true. I put the link in the video. I can tell you, Abigail's gifts will absolutely bless your life and everything in your life, every person you touch. Abigail, thank you so much for staying true to who you are and for offering the world your gifts so generously.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. I have women like you helping me to stay strong and stay steady. So yes, I'll continue going.
And Abigail, what's your website, just in case people want to go check you out and hear
Yes, it is moongoddessacademy.com. Yes.
Perfect. moongoddessacademy.com. Thank you so much for your time, for watching. And here's to a year of that internal guidance being so strong and so sure, steady with each step. Until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.